three stories actually.
Oh.
So I start with chapter one, which is One in a Spare.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to chapter three, which is Booty Call.
Watch out
And
now.
then chapter nine, which is Confused.
Okay. All
So
right.
I've been a little busy.
All right. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Miss Christina. Okay. And to my left, I have Monique.
Yes.
Okay. And you did.
And chapter 4, emotionally unavailable.
Okay. All right. And my visionary, who is my relative, one of my sweetie pie, Dr. K. Olivia Packer. Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to our little family out there. Hey, Lena. Hi, Lena. Hey, little Squinch Squinch. Hey, Destiny. We'll get them all out there. And you wrote as well?
Yes, I did the preface and introduction, but I also wrote Walking Wounded and Game Time.
Okay, so you did two?
2 chapters.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
good morning, Diva Dee.
Good morning, Miss April.
And so go back over because some people missed it because our stream took a delay. So go back over the various ones that wrote.
Okay. All right.
So I want to make clear because is this where they gonna help me find the Boaz? Is that what they doing today?
I think so.
Did they got him in the? Is he out there waiting?
Well, he must be because chapter 3 is booty call.
So I gotta do a booty call before I get him. I gotta do a booty call before I get him.
You know.
Oh, Lord.
You know that.
Do I need to play? Where is Miss Twerkanackle at? Because I got to get some clarity in regards to that.
Okay.
You mean to tell me I got to do the booty call before he come?
Well, it looks that way because the chapter before it is to ghost or not to ghost. So if you don't want him to ghost you, you better do the booty call.
Lord.
Oh, wait. Wait a minute.
Those are the 21st century requirements.
21st century requirements. I need to get it straight because see, maybe I'm doing something wrong, and maybe that's why Boaz ain't here. Ain't here.
And
Maybe I'm getting bozos instead of Boaz, and maybe that's the issue. So you mean to tell me that first I got to do the booty call?
Mm-hmm.
That what you're saying to me?
That's what it looks like I'm saying to you.
So I got to take First Lady's twerking class?
You do.
Before the Boaz will come?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to be ghosted or
No, we don't want you to be ghosted. That's why you got to do the booty call.
Okay, so you're gonna explain all this to me,
Absolutely.
and then I can look out there, and the it's gonna show that it's gonna show. That's all right. I like to hear my voice when I'm talking about a Boaz. Help me out with that. Then you're saying to me, then they may have him coming up the steps. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know. It doesn't say anything about
He's not coming up the steps.
It says emotionally unavailable. It didn't say stairs.
He not available.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I need to hear this. So go ahead and start.
Okay.
So I can hear this because I'm waiting on to see Boaz
Come through the door.
come through the.
All right then. Good morning.
Good morning.
To my right is Christina Lane,
Yes.
and you did 3 chapters.
I did, yes. Yes, 3 chapters. So chapter 1, One in a Spare. Did chapter 3, which is booty call, the 21st century requirement you all were talking about. And then chapter 9, Confused.
Confused.
Yes.
Okay. And Miss Monique, you did what chapter?
Chapter 4, emotionally unavailable.
Okay. All right. And my relative, my sweetheart over there, Dr. K. Olivia Packer, you did.
I did the preface and introduction, but I also did 2 chapters. Chapter 6, Walking Wounded, and chapter 8, Game Time.
All right.
Hey!
That's, you know it. Yeah. I might have to bring First Lady out.
Uh-oh.
Because First Lady, twerks for Jesus.
She could come.
Oh yeah. She hangs out all the time. She hangs out all the time. Yeah. We never know where the Diva Dee show gonna go. Let me say good morning to my peeps. Good morning to Goodness Gracious Incorporated. 313-92 Grace. Kelly Jones is the proprietor. Good morning to Warriors on Wheels. Miss Lisa Franklin. You may reach her Monday through Friday, 11 to 2. 313-251-5777. Good morning, Miss Candy Davis. Candy Coated Kicks. She can be reached at 313-778-1066. Good morning, Metro Detroit chapter of APII. Good morning, Mr. John Griffin of Suburban Cadillac of Plymouth. You may reach him at 734-943-1715. Good morning to Flora Francine Chancellor in the Indian Oak Rehabilitation in Kaleen, Texas. Good morning to all the residents there. And good morning to anyone that's celebrating any March birthdays. Do we have any March birthdays? I'm glad February is gone because we had like 20-something birthdays in February, and that was very taxing with your money. You know how that is. So I have a lot of books this morning, including
Dun, da, da, da.
I am so happy to be able to share that. And let me see. Can you see me? Okay, see that the queen right in the middle, and her court, her ladies around her. So we'll talk about that later. But I have lots of books this morning. Miss April is in a book this morning as well, The Color of Women, and we'll get her take on that. And that's a collection of memoirs and stories created by Tina Harris. And one more I wanted to highlight, Miss Sonia Purdy. She's on Empower Sunday. She comes on at 4 o'clock with Book Nation, and she has a wonderful book, Table for One. This is very interesting because, especially with women, it allows you to breathe and to say it's okay to take yourself out. You don't always have to have a man to do this, to do that. We are strong amongst ourselves.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, okay. Now we're going to take just a good morning, Miss April.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing wonderful.
Okay.
I want to thank you for inviting me to the Pistons meet and greet. I had an awesome time, and I got a chance to get an autograph from Sadiq Bey.
Bay.
And I said to him, I said, sir, I need to know, we got some new seats, sir, and I need to know, when can you come out and see one of your biggest fans, Diva Dee, out there on the floor?
No, you didn't.
I did say that to him. He laughed. He laughed. I said, I did see that. And I said, and so, but I told him, my name is April Berry. My rep is Sarah Richardson. And sir, I need for you to make that happen. And he chuckled and said, we're going to see what we can do.
I'll pass right on out.
I know you will.
Right on out. Ooh. Baby. Oh, man. Do y'all...
And anybody that was missing, there was 2 people that was missing that I was hoping that was going to be there. And that was Mr. Diablo, because you know I like him.
Yeah.
And they had...
He's hurt. They have 5 players that's hurt.
Well, Stewart was there and him hurt.
Okay. No, he wasn't hurt.
He was,
It's,
yes, he is. He's on the injured list.
Oh, okay. So it must be Jeremy Grant that's not hurt, but he wasn't there either.
He wasn't there, and he was supposed to be on one of the floor games, and he wasn't there. So I missed him too. But for the most part, I love the fact that the players like Mr. Livers, he was so phenomenal with the kids. It just like kind of like melts your heart to see. He was trying to teach the kids how to go through the little scrimmage.
He a kid himself, you know that.
He is, but he was just so wonderful with them. And you know, when you're on the floor, you're not supposed to really take pictures, but he was just taking pictures, and he was just giving autographs. And so, and I couldn't get to the star. I couldn't get to him because the line was so long.
Okay, Cunningham.
Yeah,
his line was, when I came in, it was across the floor and all the way up the stairs.
Yes, and then, you know, I think the cute one is Mr. Hayes. He's such adorable. And I had to tell him he's such adorable, and it was so funny because the lady before me wanted him to sign her shirt, the back of her shirt. And I'm like, he young enough to be your grandson. And so I had to say to him, I'm not going to let you sign my back of my shirt because I may wash it and tie it and you may have to sign it again. And so he was like, he laughed. And I said, I just think you're just so adorable. I do. I just think you're so adorable. And so I had a good time with them.
Good. I'm glad
so
you
thank
did.
you for inviting me to.
You're welcome. Anytime they have something, I try and make sure that you know about.
And I can't wait till Sadiq Bey come
I'm
up.
I'm gonna pass out. Have you seen what he looked like? Have you seen what he looked like? He's 6'7". All chocolate.
You gonna get me in trouble.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Okay, yeah, okay. Maybe I'll talk to you then.
You're safe over here.
Okay, all right. 6'7", all chocolate. You know, like at Easter time, you get that big chocolate bunny, and you just want to bite the head off. Oh,
You want?
Did you say that? Did I do that?
Okay.
Well, you know.
I guess moving on.
But all of them were wonderful. All of them were just totally awesome because, you know, I'm a watcher, I'm a looker, and all of them did not have any type of superstar-like mentality.
Okay.
You know, all of them were just so phenomenal working with adults because adults was trying to make baskets too, and I guess they figured, well, if they trying to make a basket, we gonna show them too. And they were taking pictures, and they were most friendly. And
They were.
And even the substitute, Mr. Bagley, he was taking pictures until the bitter end. He was the last one to take pictures, and he did a phenomenal job trying to, represent Mr. Stewart. I have to say that because he really played some ball, Mr. Bagley. And so, only body that was missing was the coach. I said, "What's up with the coach?"
Yeah.
I want to take a picture with him because he's the mover and the shaker.
Okay. I have to invite you back because I have a picture with the coach.
Right.
I got Coach Casey.
So, you know, I was kind of disappointed that he wasn't there, that I couldn't take a picture. But
Yeah, I'll let them know.
okay,
I
I know you
put
got
it-
connections.
I'll let them know. Dr. K. We'll swing it your way.
All right, swing it my way.
Okay, now tell me what is a visionary author? Okay. Tell me what a visionary author is.
Visionary author, in simplest terms, is someone that actually sees a project from beginning to end and knows what the finished product should look like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you just get a feel for it. And so when it came to Have We Met, it was part of a conversation I was having with probably one of the ladies that's one of the authors, probably one of them. And I said, you know what? I wonder how many people would, get on board with me and actually write about dating. You know, I get all the dating stories. We call each other up and we talk about this, that, and the other. Can we do this in a fiction manner? So what we did was, you know, we had a meeting and we decided, okay, this is doable. We can do this. And it was just fun to me. You know, I can't speak for everybody else, but it was very hilarious. Some of the stories as you read them, cracks you up. Some, you know, are, you know, dear to your heart because maybe you've actually had the experience, you know, of dealing with somebody emotionally unavailable. You know, maybe you've had that experience. Or maybe someone, you know, I think everybody, now this is me. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I think everybody has experienced a booty call. Either you've been the one that made the call or you received a call, a booty call. So when it came to titles, you know, it was like, okay, let's pick some things that, you know, are common, things that people are actually experiencing when it comes to dating. So that was the whole vision behind it, you know, to kind of bring an awareness. And then what we did at the end of it is the chapter Anchor of Wisdom is basically a chapter talking about how you actually do find your mate, you know. So we anchored it with, you know, scripture and someone that actually, I'm not going to tell her story, but someone that actually did what she, you know, was led to do by the Lord in order to find her mate. So we gave you all the humor, we gave you all the stories, you know, and then at the end we gave you, you know, the lesson, you know, behind it. After you go through all of these things of being attached to people that are emotionally unavailable, getting those booty calls, answering some of those booty calls, just all of it, you know, it's like, okay, now how do I really find, if I really want my Boaz, how do I really find that? You know, how do I really get that person that long term? I don't, you know, forget about, you know, the guy that's unavailable. You know what I mean? How do I find the guy that makes himself available and is ready for a relationship and long term? So,
Okay.
Yep, that's where it came from.
Okay. And what made you just say that this was the subjects that you want to? Because being a minister, in fact, give your credentials.
I am a licensed and ordained minister, yes, and I'm also a life coach. I also do personality color code training. I have like a list of stuff, but off the top of my head, those things actually come into play when it comes to relationships. I do marriage counseling. I, you know, perform marriage, perform marriages ceremony. So I. Some of the things that I use, like with the life coaching and with the personality color code training, those things are useful when it comes to, you know, getting through to people as to how they're to relate to one another in a relationship. And so I've used everything that I have, every certification, every whatever. I've used all of it to, you know, help bring people close together. I don't want, and I tell people all the time, I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to even perform the ceremony if I don't do the counseling. That's not happening. And then number two, the first thing that I usually say to people, even when I'm doing the counseling, is if the person never changes, and that's where, you know, have we met kind of comes in. If the person never changes, look at the flaw, the thing that gets under your skin. Look at that thing, and if it never changes, will you be able to live with it forever? Because we're not talking about getting married for a few minutes.
Right.
We're talking about long term. When I'm sitting down with you, we're talking about long term. We're not talking about doing this, you know, as a hobby, right? And so all of the instances that we look at when we're looking at the book, Have We Met? These are things that we're actually going through as we're searching to find not just our mate, but find ourselves.
Okay.
Because you can see yourself in a lot of this as you read this, you know, you can see yourself. And so you ask, like, okay, once I get through with all of this, and the dust clears, and it's like, okay, wait a minute, but I'm not just in this just to date, you know. I want to have that person, you know, that can go along with me. So, yeah.
Okay. Have you had any grooms walk away and say, no?
I haven't had anybody walk away, but I did have a couple that I told them, you know what, I'll do the ceremony, but you've got to continue counseling. Because there was some connection. Something was missing when it came down to the whole, what it meant to commit. You know, what it meant. It's a selfless act. And a minister, a friend of mine, said it, and I hold on to it, and I use it in counseling as well. He said, I want to daily get up and say, how can I beat the other person in loving them? So making it a competition. How can I beat you today? You're not going to beat me at loving you today. I'm going to win today.
All right.
And nobody loses in that. Nobody loses in that. If I'm always in competition with you to show you up on how I can love you more than you love me, then everybody wins.
That's a good analogy. I like that. Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back to you, Miss Christina.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I don't want to start at booty call, but I like it so much. See, there's a first lady that's attached to this show,
Yes.
and she teaches class,
Okay.
and that's her theme song. She teaches how to twerk for her man and how to twerk. Actually, it's a twerking for Jesus class.
Okay.
It stays filled. It stays filled. And the name of her church is Torconaco Missionary Baptist Church of the Divine Holiness.
Okay.
Chris is trying
She
to
said
process.
Torconaco.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot. I
Right.
dare you to say it 3 times.
Exactly.
Okay.
Torconaco.
Right.
Torconaco. And she has different qualifications. One of her strong points is she's not that regular first lady. Yeah, she's not that, I ain't that kind of first lady. And, so if Sister Sookie come in there with her skirt with showing Thy Kingdom Come, she gonna get escorted out. I got another camera. She's gonna get escorted out
Okay.
because she's not that first lady, not like that. The ones that just be smiling and be really pretty and stuff like that. She not like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she from the east side.
Oh.
So, Miss
okay.
Christina,
The 4-inch heels and the short skirt. And okay.
and she twerks every day for her man,
Okay. Okay.
and she teaches class to twerking to Jesus, and yeah. So that booty call, she really would be interested in that. And especially on Saturday night, they have these classes, and her cousin, Fitty Cent, him.
Okay. I know Fitty.
Yeah, they raise money on Saturday nights for the church on Sunday morning.
Oh.
They make it rain. See that's see. I told you she's my relative. So, give your credentials and how you came to writing 3 chapters. That's interesting.
Well, I am a Navy vet. I work for the government, and Kimberly and I, Dr. Packer, we are longtime friends. I've been with her since the beginning of the Mind Detox Flow 10 process. When she began that program, I was there. And coming on down the line as we were having conversations, she and I, or within the group setting, we talked about my love of writing. But I was never putting anything in print for someone else to read. It was all for me to read. And it became something that I realized, oh, wow, I really do like to do this. I've been doing this all my life, but maybe at some point it's time to share this with others. But, we kept stepping back, putting it on the shelf, how we do. And eventually, at some point, after she had done several, books, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, might be something I need to do. And she says, why don't you? What's the problem? I'm waiting for you. Oh, okay. She put me on the spot. But then when she came up with this project, I said, oh, you know what? I can get on board with that because I'm dating, I'm single and looking. But talking about dating these days is something that we all can relate to.
Right.
It's something everybody does. There's nobody who has not dated. And like she was saying, there's no one who hasn't encountered at least 1 or 10 of these situations. So I said, yeah, why not? It came into 3 chapters. We took a look at the titles. I picked 2 of them, and then she says, hey, you know what? What do you think about doing a 3rd? Yeah, I can do that. And I did it. And it worked out. We're here.
Okay.
I'm in black and white now.
I know. A published author.
A published author. Yes.
So your first chapter that you wrote.
One and a Spare.
Okay. And what is that?
One and a Spare, it's actually about a young lady who keeps a couple of guys in her pocket for specific needs.
Is that her name, Diva Dee? Oh, maybe not. I'm
you know
sorry.
what? I can't, for the purpose of right now, I will call her Diva Dee. Yes,
Well,
because if
right.
anybody wants to know her real name, they'll have to pick up the book to read it.
Yes.
To find out. So
One
yes,
and
Diva
a
Dee
Spare,
is
yes.
that young lady who she has her main guy, and he's a good guy. He's a God-fearing man, and he's pretty straight-laced. But there are some things that he doesn't quite have yet, or doesn't quite do, that Diva needs. Diva needs excess money. You have a diva lifestyle.
See what I'm saying?
He needs to be making enough to maintain Diva's lifestyle. So he's not quite at 6 figures yet,
Okay.
but he will be.
Okay.
So in the meantime, you have a buddy who makes that extra. He makes enough money to contribute to your lifestyle.
All right.
To supplement.
Yes, to supplement what the main man doesn't need. But then you also,
Uh-oh.
there is a child in the room. So we'll just say.
Well, she got on headphones.
She got on headphones.
Right, she got on headphones.
Listen to y'all. Wait a minute. She got on headphones. She
got on
can't hear
head-
this.
Spill the
She got
tea. We're here for the tea.
That's
Come
right.
on with the tea.
Well,
This grown folks.
Diva, you realize you have a different type of appetite.
Yes.
Because the booty call is important. So sometimes you need to talk to someone else to address specific needs.
Okay, yes.
So your main man does it, but there are some things that he won't do.
Like what?
Uh-oh. Now,
She got to
Miss
read.
April,
You got
I
to pick
didn't
the book up.
Look, I didn't even
Right.
say that. That wasn't even me.
No, it wasn't even you.
That wasn't even me. Because I wanted to say, like, what
You got
do
to
we
pick the
do?
book up.
Well, you remember MC Light's song, I Need a Roughneck.
Oh, yes. All right now.
We'll put it there. It is Sunday
Well,
morning,
Beyonce
y'all.
says she need a soldier, a man that carry big things. If you know what she means.
Well, he
There
can
we
do that
go. There we go.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A roughneck, a soldier.
Okay. I
We'll
didn't
just
even.
tease that little bit.
Okay. Y'all going to have to get the book. My audience, have we met? Dating Tales. Now you know that Diva is in the chapter. Diva Dee is in the chapter, the Flow Network. And then your 3rd chapter.
The 3rd chapter is Confused.
Uh-oh.
Well, and Confused is those guys that we meet, and even if we want to flip it, we ladies, the situations that we find ourselves in, and neither party knows what they want, what's going on, or everything is going on, but nobody makes a decision. He says 1 minute he wants you, the next minute he doesn't, the next minute, I don't know if I'm good enough. Oh, here we go. He's that one who today he wants a serious relationship, but then when you take it to the next level, oh, but I mean, you know, I ain't even think we was going there. I mean, why you getting all serious? You know, I mean, you know, I thought we was just having fun.
You moving too fast.
Right. Oh, but you said you wanted just one. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
all right then. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm back up, and
Right.
you go out and you introduce him, and he go, that's not my title.
Exactly. You're moving too fast. You know, I mean, you want more than I'm prepared to give you. Okay, but you said that you wanted. Okay, I'm confused. You know, it's basically it's a long story about what people tell you. You know, because the guys tell you all kinds of different things. You think you understand, but then the story changes.
Right.
And then sometimes he wants a mama.
Oh,
Where it's like, baby, you have a mama.
Oh my. Oh my.
You know, which is so we reference the mama's boy syndrome because you know he wants mama. I'm not trying to raise you. I'm not your mama. That's mama's job.
I'm not nowhere near your mama.
No.
I'm back in the chapter with booty call, so you got me confused.
Yes.
You got me confused.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all those things that we hear and that we've encountered, and it's about, you know, the young lady encounters all these different guys throughout her life, and she's in the process of being married. So she's reflecting on how she finally got to the altar.
Okay.
So it's all those confused brothers that she came across, and the guy that she meets, he's actually a little bit of everybody.
Okay.
But he's those good parts. He's those parts that she's willing to tolerate.
Okay. Now, did you think of your own chapter name or?
No, actually, Dr. Packer gave us the title names.
Okay, and you had to
And we
bring the
developed
story and,
Yes.
and develop it. That's awesome. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we kind of chose the ones that we could really identify with. Because, you know, what you identify with, you write well.
Exactly. Okay. And what was your inspiration to the three? Or did you have one single thought, or was it a multiple?
My own dating life.
Watch out now. See, I wasn't trying to answer that, but okay.
That's what it was. It's my own dating life. It's my life in print.
Isn't that awesome? All right, well, we're going to
With
come
names concealed, of course. We're not.
to,
Oh,
to
yes.
hide your identity.
Yes. Names and events have been changed to protect the innocent, as they would say in Law and Order.
The innocent.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about Law and Order. My bad.
The innocent. Oh.
Well, we'll call them. We won't call them. You know, to protect those who don't realize they're subjects.
Okay, all right.
Who
Okay,
realize they're
I got it.
targets.
Right, they not going they gonna open up the book and see themselves and no, that's not you.
Right.
That's not you.
Right.
Because we're not giving you no royalty to this.
No.
I got it. Okay, Miss Monique, how are you?
I'm doing well this morning. How are you?
Good. Now give me your background.
So currently, well, my name is Monique Jackson, and I come from a background of corporate leadership. Just in 2019, right before the pandemic, I decided to be a corporate dropout and full-time entrepreneur. So now I am a full-time hairstylist. I have a hair studio right out in Southfield, Michigan. And you can imagine the stories that I hear on a daily basis in regards to lifestyle, dating, whether my clients are single or married. So, yeah, it was definitely interesting to take some of my own experience, combine it with some of the events that I've heard directly from clients that they have worked through in the past or currently working through, and just put my own creative spin on it.
Okay. Now give me your title.
So I did chapter 4, which is emotionally unavailable. So in essence, that is a man who does all the things, but that you would think that you desire a man to do, financially, physically, all of the dream moments that you would like to have out of someone that you're dating, but just not having that emotional tie.
Okay.
The willingness to, take trips, spend $1 or $2, but not provide you with experiences that you probably would not get in a lifetime sometimes. So it's just kind of like not having that one thing that matters the most, which is the emotional tie, which propels the relationship into an actual relationship, into an actual marriage.
Okay. All right. Now, did you ever see yourself prior to here? Is this your first book?
Yes, this is my first time as a published author.
I know that sounds so good, doesn't it? I mean, we write all the time, but we're published authors. That elevates you just a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So prior to this, did you think that you were going to be an author?
I can't say that I have ever thought that I wouldn't be one, because I dream very big as far as the things that I think I'll accomplish in this lifetime. But did I foresee myself participating as an author in a book about dating? No.
Okay.
Only because I think that it's very natural when, we've been through, I'm sure we can all agree that we've been in situations in dating where it's, it's lightweight traumatic sometimes. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to go reach back and divulge about that. It's hard to dig in deep about it. And sometimes it's hard, like I was saying, I use some of the events that happen and that has been told to me directly. It's hard to get other people to open up about different things, So I think that it was perfect timing because it's not anything else like it right now on the market. And I feel like it kind of coincides with, how on social media they're talking about red flags when you see this, run away. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this book would definitely give any woman the red flags and signals that they should steer away from. Okay. It's going to go ahead and help you to narrow down that Boaz that you're looking for.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, Dr. K.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you have a particular theme prior to this one that this was just burning on your heart that we need right now? Mm-hmm. Did it start off, was it always dating app, or was it leaning towards in something else, and then this just continuously to weigh on your spirit?
I guess for me, it was heavy because of the fact that I am in the dating world. I'm back to actively dating, and it's like, okay, well, I need some answers, right? Mm-hmm. And like you say, you talk to other people, and then they're giving you their stories, and you're like, ain't no way in the world I ain't going through that. Nope, I'm not saying yes to a date and I kept putting off, and like the gentleman that I'm dating, kept putting him off. He has stories of me he's gonna kill me for this, but he has stories of me like she's you were trying to run me over, trying to get away from me. You almost slammed a hand in the car door or something. Like, stop it. But I had this phobia about dating because of the fact that I was hearing all these horror stories. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing all of them. I'm like, and what? And he did what? What do you mean? What do you mean he just didn't call you anymore? What are you talking about? Y'all went out on a date the other night. Like, now his numbers changed? It's disconnected? What are you talking about?
Right.
Like, what's going on?
Right.
But I heard all these horror stories, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is something we need to do. Mm-hmm. And just based on the fact that this is the season of my life, right now. Yeah. Okay.
So what would you say to your 21-year-old self, knowing that, knowing what you know now? It's a and a B. What would you tell her? And if you had the ability, would you stay there and then to correct those things, or would you stay where you are and advance having this knowledge?
I'll see, at 21, I was pregnant with my firstborn, married to my first husband. I wouldn't change my children for the world. Now let's put that out there. They wouldn't be who they are, how they are, whatever, without who I was with. But aside from them, I would probably say, don't get serious about anybody. My great grandmother had a saying like, you don't know if you like coffee if all you had is tea.
Right. Right.
You don't know if you like peach tea if all you had is raspberry or a regular or whatever. So I would say continue to date. And what make it so bad, before I met my children's father, I was dating that way. Like I was literally, I had, multiple people, and I had a script. And my script was, I'm dating. I'm trying to find the person for me. And so if you see me out with Johnny or Bobby or whoever, like, if you trip, don't even call me. Because I'm not committed.
Okay,
right.
Stay in your lane.
Right. I'm not committed to anybody. I'm just out having fun. And so men's ego, and I found this to be kind of funny. Men's ego, that didn't bother them because they're now I'm free to date and do. Yes, you are. You don't have to worry about me if I see you with Sally Sue. I'm gonna speak to you and I'm gonna keep it moving. But if I feel like the relationship it becomes a relationship, or I want it to become a relationship, then I'll communicate that with you, and you do the same for me. Then I'll let you know if I'm on board with that, and you let me know. If that's the case. I got my heart broken because once I did decide who I really wanted to be with, he wasn't ready. But he was honest with me. But that's the purpose of having that type of, open dating, That was the purpose of it. So when he was, like I said, when he was ready, when I was ready, he wasn't. So I got my heart broken. It's just like, oh my God, okay, you're not ready. And I thought he was. But he wasn't. And I had to move on, go back to the whole, dating
Start
pool
the process
thing.
all over
absolutely,
again.
Absolutely.
Did he know that, it's, I've heard a lot of men today say that a man knows immediately when he finds his bride. They know right away. What games they play all after that. Did he know that he wasn't ready?
Well, the funny thing about that is about a month or two after, he was sitting and thinking about it, and at that point, because the dating between us was so awkward after that, of course, I kind of stepped back, and it didn't take long after that where he, okay, I made a mistake. But by that time, I was actually dating.
You had moved on.
Yeah, I was actually seriously in a relationship with the kid's father.
Okay.
And when he came back, I was looking at him like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But yeah, I do believe, and just talking spiritually, so I do believe that there is something that happens within not just the man, but also you. You're his rib. If you're his rib, there's going to be a certain level of comfortability. Is going to be something that draws when it comes to the person that you're supposed to be with. And I believe, wholeheartedly that, I just believe when within a short amount of time, now you develop as far as having a relationship and getting to know the person. But I think that I think you start seeing yourself with the individual. There's always this tugging and pulling between the two of you. I believe that there's a connection that happens when you meet that person.
Okay.
I do. I believe that.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take our first break, and then I'll come back with the same questions for Monique and Christina. And we're going stand up. I love her. This is the Diva Dee Worldwide show. and we're in different platforms. And this month we are showcasing queens that are published authors. I love that. And we're discussing Have We Met? If you're out there and you want to call in, 248-429-7224. And we also have a group chat that's out there. Let us know what's going on. And we'll be right back with Cynthia Erivo. I mess that up every time, so don't worry about it.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm wading through muddy waters. You know I got a made up mind, and I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. And I know what's around the bend. My
in control. I got Satan on my trail, but I'm singing all is well. He's attacking every day, but I'm watching while I pray. No matter the attack, I won't turn back, 'cause this means war. This means war. This means war. This means war. I bleed the blood. I bleed the blood. There's power in the blood. I bleed the blood. Healing in the blood. I bleed the blood. Power in the blood. I bleed the blood. I've been in the storm and the rain, but the blood still stays the same. Whatever's going wrong, my war clothes are on. I might be in a daze, but you can't have my praise. No matter the attack, I won't turn back, 'cause this means war. This means war. This means war. This means war. I bleed the blood. I bleed the blood. There's power in the blood. I bleed the blood. Healing in the blood. I bleed the blood. Power in the blood. I bleed the blood. You can't have my family. You can't have my increase. You can't have my breakthrough. You can't have my, you can't have my, you can't, I bleed. I bleed the blood. There's power in the blood. I bleed the blood. It's a prayer of protection. I bleed the blood. It's a prayer of provision. I bleed the blood. This means war. There's power in your praise. This means war. Prayer changes things. This means war. You can't take this lying down. This means war. Said this means war. This means war. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Thank you for staying. You are looking at the Diva Dee Worldwide show, and I am your host, Diva Dee. And I have my ladies here from Have We Met? Dating Tales That Women Tell. And we're going to ask them, we're going to get right back in this book. And Miss Christina,
Yes, ma'am.
what I'm going to ask you is just the opposite of
Okay.
Dr. K.
Okay.
When you were 21, did you see yourself being the person that you are now?
No.
Okay, and how did you grow into the person that you are now?
Ooh, probably purely by the grace of God.
Hallelujah.
When I was 21, I was mostly living for the here and now.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't looking ahead 5 and 10 years down the road necessarily. Even though you would never know it, because that's kind of how I did things, but I was looking at the here and now. As I got older, and especially after I did my time in the service, I came out and everything looked completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working toward some different goals. What really helped me develop more than anything was, I think, the people that I did surround myself with. I've always hung with an older crowd of women, and I've tried to gravitate toward people who could teach me something. And when I started working where I'm working now, I met Dr. Packer. We developed a great relationship. And in talking to her, there was a lot that had gone on with her that we related on, and she was in a position to teach me a lot of what I realized I didn't know.
Okay.
And it was a lot of life lessons in what she would tell me. It was us exchanging ideas that helped me develop even more so. And it was, again, the mind detox program and the emotional detox programs where we talked about our emotions. We talked about how our emotions drive us as women. That's who we are. We're emotional beings. We talked about how an event that happened when we were 5 and 6 years old caused us to develop into where we are, simply because it left an impression on us that we didn't even realize it left until years later. It took all of that to bring me here. So I believe that, especially with meeting Dr. Packer and being able to pull from her like I can, and accepting what she pours into me, it's developed me. It's brought me to where I am now. So today I can say I do things with much more intention.
Okay.
I'm upfront. No, I want this, I want this, I want that. Because, with God, all things have to be specific.
Right.
So that's where I'm trying to go.
Okay. So at age 21, did you, what from your age of 21 that you wish that you could do now? I know for myself, the being at the mature, I wish I could have spreaded my throw everything to the wind a longer, but I had to. I was married a few years later at that 30-year job, kids, so I had to be the responsible one. And did your life pattern that way, where you were already, wild and crazy? I wish that I could have been more wild and more crazy.
I had my moments. I had my moments when I was wild and crazy. Mama nor my sister or brother could tell you, because when I was kind of like two people.
Okay.
So when I was 21 and wild and crazy, I wasn't around people that I knew. I was around people that I didn't know. So I could be that 21-year-old me and be relaxed in it. When I was 21 and around people who I did know, around my family and whatnot, I was that responsible, more reserved. Chris wouldn't do that. Oh, that's not good. Oh, no, that Chris ain't hardly done that. Chris probably did do that, and she probably said that and some other stuff. So I was always that person.
Right.
Coming up, when I look back at 21, if there was anything I wanted to pull out of it, would be kind of to be that wild and crazy self again.
Yes.
Because nowadays you're so, with the way the world has turned, you're so on guard with so much. You can't just relax and take your hair down and, pick an argument with somebody and laugh about it.
Right.
You can't just go to the club and have a good time like we used to do. Me and my sister were just talking about that the other day. There's a concert coming up, and we were talking about how great that concert is going to be. And if I may, Mystical and Juvenile, Two Live Crew, they're all coming. And we were talking about everybody on that program. It's going to be a great old school concert. And we were talking about how, at that time we could go and party. You sweated, your hair, your perm would be like an afro.
Right.
And nobody cared. you know, but now it's not that way.
Right, because if you hear Lord talking, you on guard. Okay. As you sit there in the concert, you got to worry about so many different things.
Yeah.
We have the pandemic going on. We have a girlfriend, a boyfriend that he thinks that she didn't have the right clothes on when they went, and so now it's an undercover argument, and now it's at the top.
Right.
And it's so much. You want to have a good time.
Yes.
The way you did, because at 21 we had 45s.
Yes.
And we couldn't wait until that record came out, because now we have a whole thing, and by the time they came to the studio, we knew the whole song.
Yes, we did.
We was doing it. Yeah. So okay, now this baby right here ain't but 21, so I don't know what I have no idea what questions to ask her.
Actually, 35 all the way live.
All right, hey. So there's no historical question that I have for you.
Well, she's still in kind of the same kind of situations. Sorry. She's still in kind of the same type of situations, and even listening to her, the title of her book, where he's not emotionally ready.
Right.
And so
she has all her knowledge and wisdom right now.
Right now, and he's not emotionally ready. He's doing everything right, but emotionally he wrong.
Yeah, and
so that speaks volume.
And I think I bring a unique perspective to the other authors, even though I have not lived as long, as gracefully as they have. But I married at a young age. So my first marriage that did not work out, thank the Lord. I was
girl, I'm there with you.
Something to celebrate.
I got married literally right before my last year of undergrad. So I was 20 years old, because I remember I specifically did not even do a bar at the reception, because I was like, if I can't drink, I can't drink. So yeah, I was 20 years old, and I was married for only a short 3 years. But what I was going to say is that when you were asking Christina the question about, what she would have done differently, and she was saying, and then you said something about, maybe living more wild or being more free. Those are some of the things that myself, I wish I had have done more of when I was in college. Because when I went into college, I was with my high school sweetheart, who I had been with for years, right? And then I broke up with him because I went away to school. Long distance became a problem and a challenge for us. And then literally right after I broke up with him, I met my now ex-husband. And I was in a serious relationship with him. And even though he left and joined the military, I was still on breaks and weekends. I was flying to wherever he was. So I still don't feel like, sometimes I don't feel like I got that wild, crazy experience that I should have had. So now when I did come back into the world at 24 to date, it's like I'm starting anew. I'm starting afresh. So it's like I'm getting everything at once. I'm getting what people expect me to know, what those expectations are at 24. But at the same time, I still have that that childlike love, or that that hopeless romantic type love, because I'm still searching for what I didn't get, or what what was supposed to be. So I feel like I'm always back before it, and I'm always trapped in between where I should be and where I actually feel that I am, like emotionally.
Yeah.
So based on those experiences, so.
Yeah, Miss April, she got it.
She got it. She got it, because you could tell by her title that she had went through some things and she had some experiences, because it takes somebody that has gone through a relationship to understand when somebody is not emotionally or even spiritually where you're at. They could, I love the fact that she talked about the fact that he takes you on trips, he buys this, he does that. Okay, he's doing all the right things. Right, but mentally and spiritually, he not there. He not ready. And so that speaks volume.
Yeah.
Because I think we as women, because we mature so much in relationships that we get there before they get there.
Way before.
Long before, yeah.
And then we waiting on them to the light bulb to
come on
To
and
come
to catch
on.
up.
So just flip the switch.
right.
Yeah, because when we meet men, we're already in a frame, and we're going, okay, is he the one?
Yeah.
What would my children look like
Yep.
if?
I don't do that.
Oh,
Oh, I did.
oh,
Oh, I did.
oh.
I don't do that. I guess because I was raised in a different. My grandfather was so candid with me, and he was like, "Don't be wishing that thinking that this guy is gonna be the father of your children when you don't know whether he brushes his teeth every day." You know, he would say stuff like that. You don't even know whether he changed his underwear every day. You don't even know. He would put that reality. You know, he would say, "You're not Cinderella. You're April." And April needs to understand that all those fairy tales, none of them got a divorce. And it's always the man whisked them off, and they go to the wild blue yonder. You never see them paying no bills. You say you never see them going through anything, and then he just gives her a kiss. And my grandfather was like, it take more to have a marriage than a man giving you a kiss. You don't wake up with a kiss. You wake up with him being a man. And so when I was younger, and I have that same problem now, when a person says to me, "Oh, I love you and you're the one," and my first question to him is, "Do you know whether or not I brush my teeth every day? Do you know whether or not I change my underwear every day?"
First lady don't even wear underwear. Hallelujah.
Where do we go with this? Where do we go with
Got this broadcast.
Well,
with a special announcement?
Yes. Oh my God.
well,
Hey.
well.
And so, like I said, my grandfather and my father were that real with me. Now, did I listen to everything? No, I didn't, because I wouldn't be in a situation of the men that I've experienced. But it kept on in my mind that although he's handsome, although he's fine, although he good looking, although he got a job, he a BMW black man working, I still have to say to myself, do you know him? Do you know him? Or is this just, temptation, just my imagination running away with me? Because if it's just my imagination running away with me, I'm setting myself up for heartache.
Right.
But if I am on the slow bus, which is my favorite thing, if I'm on the slow bus, I'm enjoying the view. And then if that bus is making a detour that I don't want to go on, then I can get off that bus.
You have time.
I have time.
You can ring the bell,
Yes.
and you have time to get off.
And guess what?
It's not like Speed, the movie Speed,
right.
where it's going too fast and you can't get off. Yeah, it's like the bus. I like that.
And in that, I tell people, and people from In the Zone, the ladies will tell you, that one of my favorite movies in the whole wide world is The Runaway Bride.
Oh,
And the reason why it's The Runaway Bride is because Richard Gere asked every last man one question: how does she like her eggs?
Okay.
You never marry her. How does she like her eggs? None of them could answer. And guess what? She couldn't answer it until she figured out who she was.
Right.
And then she let him know, "Oh, I like my eggs with a little deal." Oh, now you know how you like your eggs. But none of the men that she went with, they said the same thing. "Oh, she like her eggs just like I like mine."
Really?
And so no, I don't do the fantasy. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I don't do the fantasy now.
That's good tea.
I don't do the fantasy now. My fantasy is Sadiq Bey. a little cougar now. So, but as 21, oh yeah, I was in the whole fantasy thing, and I would be writing my first name with his name.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And it would be
practicing my signature.
Oh, I'm practicing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was doing at 21. And so I needed to curtail that down to, because it was like, ooh, yeah. I was all over the place. But I wish I had have been able to curtail some of that and bring that with me. That that freedom that I had. Now it's all responsibilities.
Yeah.
Any and everything that we do right now, we can't make that choice before we go to our responsibility.
Right.
If someone came to you and said, "Oh, let's go to Vegas," our 21-year-old girl, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right.
But at our age now, okay,
The mortgage,
I got
car note,
yeah.
car insurance.
Who gonna watch the house? I get
Right.
you
You're
know.
gonna pick up the mail.
The
And
dog.
yeah, and did I how much did I pay on that credit card bill?
Right.
And
And-
even the things that we want change, because
That's true.
I'm being totally honest. This one guy that I was dating, I wasn't dating. I was gathering information, because that's
There we
what
go.
dating is.
Gathering-
I was gathering
gathering
information, because
Okay.
that's what
Is
we
that-
need
is
to
that-
understand. Dating means to gather information.
There we go.
That is
Okay.
true.
Okay.
That's what it means to gather. When you're dating, you're gathering information. So when I was gathering information, he was like, I've never had any children. And I said to him, and your point? Your point? And he said, would you entertain us having a baby? What?
How fast a conversation was that?
It was so quick,
Wow.
because I said to him, my son is 24 years old. And he said, and? So I said, okay. I said, I'm listening, gathering information. I said, so what does that look like to you? I said, because when my son was born, I said, my mother and my father was my greatest supporters, and they came to my rescue. Well, my dad's going on to glory, and my mom, she's just older. She not trying to do this no more. She's not trying to be my greatest supporter as far as raising a baby anymore. So we're doing daycare again, and I said, and diapers now, 24 years ago, I told him I would spend $200 a month on diapers, because he had an allergy, and so I had to buy the allergy sensitive diapers. So that was 24 years ago, so we might as well almost double that now.
Easily.
And then I said, and then the formula, I spent $160 a month. I said, because I didn't buy things, go to the store every week. I went to Sam's Club and bought it bi-monthly. And I said, and so I spent $160, so I spent $200. I said, that is $360 just for him to drink and poop. That don't include nothing else. And then I said, and then daycare alone. I said, I'm going to do this again? Really?
Right.
And so he said, he had answers. He said, my mom, she would love for me to have a child. My mom said, I don't know his mom. I don't know his mom. And then he said, and my sister would also. Well, my mom said, I know his sister, and she got an attitude problem. And I said that to myself. I'm going to have my child with your attitude as sister watching my child. Okay, my child will be dead before my child is 1, because I be done smack the heck out of the child once she act like you. So my mind said April. It was like the Lost in Space. Danger, danger, danger.
Well, the minute he asked about a baby in mind, is
That
was it for me.
Like, you know what? It was like,
Exactly. And
But don't you think it was fair, though, for him to ask that?
It was fair.
absolutely.
It was fair to ask,
And I
But
didn't
it was
but
the exit sign. It would have been.
I did not have a problem with him asking, and that's when I said to him, Well, what does that look like to you? What does that look like to you? And so he had the answers. He said, I make enough money for daycare. I make enough money to take care of you. And so in my mind, I'm like, he's done rehearsed this because he has the answers.
Yeah.
So this is really important to him, for him to rehearse it and for him to have all the answers.
Exactly.
So my mind said, he need somebody that's willing to have a baby. I would do
And
him a
you're not
disservice.
Right.
Right.
Because I'm not trying. God bless you. God bless you. I'm not trying to have no baby. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not there. You know, I'm glad that my son don't even have no kids yet, because I can be free from grandkids right now. But I'm not trying. And so in my mind, collecting the data, I took a step back and said, okay, he needs somebody that's willing to have a baby, because this is important to him. And since I'm not, I'm doing him a disservice.
By staying.
And so
you're blocking.
And so
Right.
the money seemed wonderful. And then he said this. He said, well, you know, I got nieces and nephews, and it's fine with me. But in my mind, I said, no, it's not fine. Because my mind said, he's practiced this, April.
Right.
He has the answers. This is something that he really wants. And he's willing to make a sacrifice. Well, I said, oh, no. I quickly started preaching the wonderful word called friends.
I hear that.
Friends.
Without benefits.
Without benefits, friends. Because I knew it was important to him. And so I think as we grow older, even the things that we want at 21, I probably could have thought about it. Said, oh, 21, he want to have a baby? Oh, okay, I'm 21, I'm 22. Okay, that's feasible. That's understandable. But not now.
No, not at all. Dr. K, what is some negative dating tips that you kept running across that you need to tell our queens? Because queens do. Okay. I heard them. You know, one of the things that I encounter is we as women, not all, but we tend to downplay our own self. And I have seen countless of conversations where they call themselves the B word.
Oh, yeah.
And that just rubs me crazy. No, I am not that big. You know, they you know, two conversations. Hey, B, what you know, girl, I did so and so. Yeah, B, please, I did. No, we are queens.
Right.
So that's my pet peeve. Correcting my circle as, don't call me one. Don't call yourself one.
Right.
That is not. You are a queen. Rise up. Keep your head up. So, is there something in this that you find a negative that this would help our queens to feel better, to do better?
Well, the intent was for you to look at it, read it, and see yourself. You know, and if you're in one of these, I mean, a lot of times people don't see until they're on the outside. You could be in a situation forever and not really see it. Everybody around you sees it, sees what you're going through, sees what's going on, and you don't fully see it. And to be able to pick it up, you know, and read it and look at booty call, you know,
Please
read
do.
it. Look at that booty call. Like, you see it. I mean, and really see like how foolish it is to entertain a booty call. I mean, unless that's all that you're out here for. You know what I mean? And you're not trying to get attached to anything or anybody. A booty call might be what you want, but for somebody that says that they want a relationship, can't call somebody at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night talking about, you know, coming and sitting on your sofa. I had a gentleman that used the excuse that, you know, he was really upset about, one of his parents being ill and, needing to be consoled. I said, well, we can talk. We're on the phone.
Right.
And it was 11 o'clock at night. And at the time, my children were in their teens. There's no way they're going to see mama dipping out at 11 o'clock. No. And I told him, I said, well, it sounds kind of like a booty call. I mean, because if we're on the phone, we're talking. Anything you want to ask, I can pray for you right now, whatever. No. And then the thing that's really bad for me is, and I'm just going to put it out here since we on here, my worst situations were with pastors, because mostly that's what I've dated.
Oh,
They're the worst.
Church hurt.
yeah.
They're the worst. They have, and you think about all of the stuff that, how they're representing themselves to, and it's like, okay, none of that, if walls could talk, ain't none of that, none of that's real. None of that's authentic. That's not the authentic you. And if they knew, they wouldn't come and hear you say amen. You know what I mean? Just like, come on. So I've had some experiences where it's like, wow, really blow my wig. I had a statement, blow my wig back. I've never worn a wig, but yeah, blow my wig back. I'm like, wow, like, so
It's so
you
ironic
mad?
that you said that, and the faces of everybody when you said that. Everybody was like, well, and that's a sad scenario, but it's a true scenario.
Nobody's shocked anymore, right?
It's not shocking. Nobody was like,
Oh my gosh, really? They were pastors? They were ministers?
most of them was like, all of them was like,
yeah, I can think of about 2 or 3 myself.
Because I was going to jump in when you took a pregnant pause and tell you one of mine. So, yeah,
that's sad.
it is.
It is.
It is. You got pimps in the pulpit, I think, and they hide behind the cross.
Right.
They hide behind the cross. Wow. And do you think that you might do a male version of?
If I got enough, and as a matter of fact, we were talking about that. If I got enough men that wanted to do this and they wanted to tell their side, their view. As a matter of fact, what I did on the podcast was I interviewed men, and I interviewed them anonymously. So if you want to check out on Spotify, where else am I? All the little channels.
Spotify, it was Facebook. Yes, you put the
I put
interviews
some
on Facebook.
Okay.
Yes. In the dating
So
Tales
if you
page.
want to listen to those, it's amazing. They were willing to do it as long as they were anonymous. And so, and of course, if you know some of these people, you know their voice, whatever. But they were willing to do it anonymously. So we set it up, and for a few weeks, they actually gave the answers to some of the questions that women have been asking me. So I just posed those questions, and they were like, okay, let me tell you why we do this, that, and the other. Let me tell you why we think like this or we act like this. So it was pretty cool. So yeah, if I got enough men that wanted to actually put it in writing, oh yeah, I would do it. I would do an anthology real quick.
That would be great.
Yeah, it
yeah,
would. It
because
absolutely would.
I do like to know their side too. What was one of the things that shocked you talking to the men that you didn't expect?
Ooh, let me see. What would be? I don't know if I can say that any of it really shocked me. I'm the only girl. I have brothers, both my dads. They, like you said, candid. They talked to me growing up. So there's a lot of things. A guy couldn't run. As a matter of fact, the game of telling guys you're not the only one, don't be tripping when you see me, that came from my stepfather. So I can't that those type of things were always talked about. So I can't say that they shocked me, but what I would think would probably shock most women is just the idea of men being vulnerable. For them, that's a huge thing. So if a guy is being vulnerable with you and they're telling you things that maybe you would probably tell quicker than the guy, an average guy or whatever. But for them, that's a huge thing. And for them, it was like, it's like, I was vulnerable with you. So I gave you a piece of me that no one has, or that I rarely give, or whatever. And so even if they're not doing all the other stuff, even if you view them as being emotionally unavailable, even if they're not doing the stuff, for them, that's major. And because of that, you know, they feel they should be given credit for those things. So I think, you know, a lot of times women look at, you know, and say, well, you know, they're not sharing anything. Or it could be that one little thing that they've shared with you that's, you know, that they're not broadcasting to anybody. They haven't told anybody. For them, that should let you know how you rank, so to speak, in their heart. And because of that, like I said, they really want like extra credit for that. I call it extra credit for that. But if they're not doing all the other stuff, and that was one of the things, you know, that I, you know, mentioned, like, if you're not doing all the other stuff,
The checkoff list, yeah.
how will, you know, they know that, okay, that's a vulnerable spot. That's a spot, you know, that you gave me that you haven't given anybody else. Okay, how would I know that means a lot? You know, and that kind of gives like a view of how you feel about me as a person, you know, in our relationship.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
One
right.
thing I noticed with, and especially as we were listening to you, April, one thing that kept resonating that's so huge and people don't do it enough is gather information.
Right.
Because sometimes when you're talking to people, for us at the table, we're communicators. So we're going to always sound like we're third degreeing somebody or interviewing someone, if you will, because that's what we do. We gather information, but that's how you get to know someone. And one thing I did notice throughout my whole dating life, not every single individual, but many guys, I'm asking questions. They rarely ask anything.
Right.
So when they say you're in a different place than I am, well, how do you even know? Because you never asked me anything. I remember once I asked a guy, I had just met him. We were just really getting to know one another. I was at his house. His mom was sitting in the living room. He and I were at the dining room table. And this was 2004, 2005-ish. And I said, hey, question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And he looks, he says, well, in 5 years, what do you mean? I said, yeah, 5 years from today, if I see you somewhere and I say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? What are you up to? What do you think? Huh. It was silence. I mean, we're face to face, mind you. His mom is sitting there and she's, you know, like, oh, okay, what are you gonna say? I really don't know.
Okay, it was nice knowing you, sir.
Right. Because then he says, well, maybe married to you and with some kids. Wrong answer.
Yeah.
Wrong answer.
Wow.
But
Wrong
we do
answer.
the same thing. Don't we do the same thing?
In our head, we don't let it out.
But I'm saying because they're
Exactly.
candid. But don't we do the same thing?
But you know, he
Don't
found
we
an answer.
say-
He didn't know. He didn't have a clue.
But isn't some of our relationships or some of the female relationships, their future is predicated on who they're with?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so don't we do the same things? You trying to feel where he coming from. But where is he coming from asking me where do I see myself in 5 years? Well, if I say married to you, that's going to turn him off because he going to think I'm desperate. So let me think of something to say.
Clever.
That sounds so wonderful, you know, fluff. But don't women do the same thing? Don't
Yeah.
they
absolutely.
sell wolf
Yeah.
tickets,
That's
not
true.
really knowing
That's
where
true.
in their minds they want to be with that man in 5 years? They want it to work out. Will they be married? Maybe not with no children, but they married and they live in that Cinderella happy ever after.
Well, you
But
know,
don't we do the same thing?
I try to, if somebody asks me that, I usually, at this point especially, I give the response for myself. Not necessarily, I said, well, if I'm married at that point, then, that'll be great. So that way it doesn't sound like, okay, you are the one asking and you are the one I'm going to marry, right, right. So I don't like to do that. But at that time, I was just trying to see where he was coming from, just trying to see, he was working a small job. I'm like, do you have any bigger job aspirations? Do you want to maybe move out of Michigan? How do you want to move forward? And 5 years is not that long of a time. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't really looking for anything all big of a deal-ish. I just wanted to see, is this somebody I want to start a walk with, because he's looking at trying to do something a little bigger, or just, even if he had said, well, you know what, I'm not even sure, because, I hadn't made a 5-year plan, but maybe let's talk more about it. Did you do one? Because he didn't even ask me, well, what's yours? Mm-hmm. Because, somebody asked and you was like, well, wait a minute.
Right. I would flip that. I would flip that. Monique,
get off the hot seat.
Mm-hmm. What I see now in the dating thing is men asking women, what do you bring to the table? Is that something that you've encountered? That type of conversation, because what I bring to the table, baby, I am the table. But that would just be the Diva Dee one.
Oh, that would be Dr.
Baby, listen, the table, the both chairs, the light, and if you don't hit that switch, you may not get. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was going to say that I wouldn't necessarily say I've encountered that, like where I have to prove myself, because I would have to say that most men that approach me have approached me based on the reputation I already have, or the image, or we're in a social media world, so you already know who I am because of my brand to an extent. So you already know, all the things that I'm doing and what I can bring. But what I do find is that there are more men that are less willing to be providers now. There are more of these 50-50 men now. So now it's like, because one of my friends, she joked all the time, and she said, black women, we are now the rich ninjas. Because it used to be that used to be who we ninja. We always say, it used to be like a saying, like, oh, the girls, they go to the club or they go to the event, they only want to talk to the guys that got money. But now the game has changed. Most black women, we have, become more self-aware and found our own independence, and we're doing our own thing unapologetically. Therefore, now it's like, oh, okay, she doing this, so I'm gonna jump on her bandwagon too, because I got the potential to do this, or I got this that needs to take off. Maybe she's gonna be the other side. So I see a lot of that now, which for me is a turn off. Like, even though I am a part of the millennial generation, I still, regardless of what I do and how much I make, I still want to have a husband that provides. You at least need to be able to provide, food, shelter, and the necessities. On top of, I need to be, mentally stimulated. We need to have, delegated physical interactions. We need to still date. It needs to be intentional, things like that. So I don't know. I can't say that I've encountered too many people to say, oh, well, what you bring to the table. But if I do, it's in the sense of, I know I'm not at 100. So I'm trying to see what you can bring. And it's like, no, that's not how it should be. Like, you the man, you should be leading the way. I'm doing all of this because it's just me. If a man comes in the picture to be my future husband, then I want to be supporting you doing all of this. Like, it's just recently I heard this saying, someone said, women in terms of being, submissive and actually manifesting a providing, protecting type of husband, that we are supposed to duck to allow God to smack them. So basically allow God to put him through trials and trials and tribulations, and you're supposed to duck just to be there of support. You're not supposed to be you and him getting hit with everything. It's kind of like he should be a filter for your family.
Okay. All right.
So
Awesome.
And see, that what you said was so key. we're doing this because we have to.
Mm-hmm.
We still would love a provider in the home, but we have to. If we want to eat, if we want a roof over our head, yeah, we have to get out here and pounce.
Yeah, I can
Yes,
remember I can remember someone asking me, how many bedrooms you got in your home? Why? Because if you decide to shack up with somebody, or if I decide to build a home with somebody, this ain't it. This is what I can do for me.
Right.
Ain't gonna be no coming together with what I already have or what you already have. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, the culture is definitely changing. And I know a lot of people say that, you know, it kind of flipped. It used to be like the guys from the South were more, like, you know, like more macho, more head of the household type of thing. But now it's like they're more like babied in a sense, because in the South, women are willing to do more in order to lock that man down. So now they don't
Cook
even
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, wash your drawers, whatever. Yeah,
So now they don't even appreciate that
right.
or see that as a thing. And so you just kind of out here lost in the wilderness, like you know, it's like a tally mark. Like, nope, that ain't gonna work. Nope, this ain't gonna work.
Well,
That's
Diva,
where
what
we
we
are.
supposed to do?
Oh, you asked the diva?
I'm asking
Well,
Diva.
now Diva D
I'm
got
coming
her
to First
own.
Lady for advice.
Look, Diva D got her own set. You better look at you. See her face? Did you see her go down? And did you look at April? They both said, you don't want to ask that. They both said,
No.
yeah,
Not the twerking first lady.
right.
No, it's just gone.
Yeah, maybe you kick that to somebody else on the panel, because you don't want Diva D to answer that.
She's answering it. Diva D is really answering it. She's being her authentic
She
her.
is. She
So
is.
it's no fake, it's no phony, it's no buffoonery, it's no craziness.
Nope.
You what you see is what you get. It's
Yes.
straight up no chaser.
That's right.
That's it.
Right.
I don't have. She don't have nowhere. You got to chase her down with some Coca-Cola or whatever. You know, it's straight up with Diva D, and I think that's to be commended, because so many times we as women, we put a mask on, and then once we get so deeply rooted in that mask, we get so complaints, because we want to be the real us, but we done had that mask on so long that we're afraid to take the mask off and be the real us, because we're afraid people are not going to accept it. And I've been there, because I was married to a preacher, and God delivered me.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Glory, glory. Thank you,
There's
Lord.
life after
Hallelujah.
divorce. I
Thank
promise you, there's
Jesus.
life after
Thank you,
divorce,
Jesus.
and it feels so
Yes.
wonderful to me.
Yes.
And I remember some of the things that I settled for, and that was me. I settled for my husband didn't like pants, so when I got married, I never wore pants until I got divorced, and so which I thought was crazy, because here it is, since he didn't like pants, we had a picnic. And I looked like a Kojic mother of the church, because I got a blue jean skirt on and everybody else got on jeans and shorts and stuff. But trying to please my husband and not being the authentic me, I put myself in that category. I remember him saying to me he didn't like leftovers and he wanted a fresh meal every day.
Oh, I've heard a lot of people say
So
that.
guess what I did? I made a fresh meal every day. And then the demand got big, because then almost every other day he wanted greens, and I'm still working. And he wanted crowder peas, and you got to take them out the shell and all that, and go to Belleville. I would go to Belleville on Saturday and get crowder peas and all that other stuff, but I'm still working. I'm still punching the clock, and I'm still there. He wanted homemade rolls and stuff like that. And his mom had to say to him, "Sir, you done got beyond yourself, because I'm your mom and I wouldn't do all of that." But I allowed it because I thought I had no choice.
Right.
And I thought, well, if I really say, I'm not making no rolls today, that would cause an issue. But that would have been the real me. And guess what? It should have been okay for me to say, I'm not making no rolls today.
Right.
It should have been okay for me to say, I know you like dresses, but this is a picnic, and I'm gonna put on them jeans. That's being the authentic me. So with Diva Dee, I commend her because you're not gonna put Diva Dee in no box. You're not gonna put no mask on her. You're not gonna. You have to love her for who she is. And if you don't love her for who she is, she be like, peace out. And that's what I love about Diva Dee. Is she's just straight up. She's just her authentic her. And if we as women learn to be our authentic us, because I always say this, the Bible says this one thing that I think is so profound. I mean, and it goes for women too. The Bible says this one thing that is so awesomely profound and is short. God said, I made you fearfully and wonderfully. Bible says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Period. I love that period at the end. Because it didn't say you are fearfully and wonderfully made if you do everything that this man wants you to do.
Right.
If you surrender your will and just humble we get that humbleness situation messed up too in our mind. Because we think
Humble and submissive, those two.
we get them so confused, but God just set the record. You're fearfully and wonderfully made, period.
Right.
He didn't put no semicolon. He didn't put no colon. He didn't put none of that. He put a period at the end. And I think as women, if we just keep that in the forefront, I don't care what's going on, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. But first we got to tell it to ourselves.
Right.
Because
Right.
if we preach it to ourselves,
Right.
he going to see it.
Right.
And he going to know, oh, wait a minute. I can't step to her any kind of crazy.
There we
Yep.
go.
And that's what I was saying. The women that call themselves the B word, as if that is a queen title.
Right.
If you fearfully and wonderfully made, how could you think that that title is okay?
Right.
It's not. That's not even in your vocabulary.
Shouldn't be.
I'm from the east side. I'd be done cut you if you call me that.
Right.
Oh yeah, east side.
Yeah.
Dr. K. Yeah. Okay. Give me your final thoughts, and also how we can reach you, and how we can get a book.
All right. So I'm hoping that Have We Met and the discussion that we've had here today, you're right now like on the edge of your seat, and you're like, okay, I got to have this book.
Yes.
I got to know all of these things. But I guess for me, the selling point is like Christina said earlier, we're all, everybody's dated. So this is not something that is going to go away. Everybody's courting, dating, whatever you want to call it. And because of that, and all of the discussions that we have with our sister girls about dating, wouldn't it be nice to have something that you can look at and evaluate, from the outside in? Because as I'm reading the other ladies' stories, I saw myself. And, wow, yeah, I did that dumb thing. You know what I mean? And that way, 'cause I'm all about doing self-reflection. I'm all about looking at self. I'm all about, looking inward first. And I believe that that's what this book does for the reader, is to cause you to look at yourself. What position am I in dating? And then even the guys, as you read it, am I that guy? Am I the emotionally unavailable guy? Oh my God, am I the confused? Am I bringing confusion on the scene? Am I the guy that, is changing like the wind? Whatever. So yeah, go get it. It's on Amazon. But you can get it from any of the lovely authors that are here on the back. I hope you can see that.
Yes.
You can get it from any of the authors, but it's also on Amazon, just like that. And yeah, that's really all I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we want to say good morning to the other authors, Lakeisha Shirley,
Yes.
Evelyn Mann Carter, Jacqueline Wilkerson, and actually I think they should get the book from you guys, and that way you get your autograph.
That's true.
Right. How can we reach you?
For me, it's www.connectandflow.com, and the other ladies can give their contact information.
And what is your final thought? How do you rate this going forward in selling your story and making sure that you heal the queens that you are and that's around you?
Well, for me, it is taking the experiences that I have had, as well as the experiences that have been brought before me, and just simplifying it into learning lessons for women, so that they won't make the same mistakes, and if they are already making those mistakes, that they can quickly acknowledge it and move forward. Yes, as I stated before, it is definitely, dating in general can be very traumatic, but would I want anyone else to endure for any period of time something that I went through? No, not at all. What if I could wrap it up into a story and give you a good laugh and help you acknowledge these different signs, so that you won't make the same mistakes as well? To me, I don't know, I feel like that has been the best takeaway from all of the tales, is that we are able to take other people's experiences and learn from them.
Excellent, queen. How can we reach you?
My website is moniquethestylist.com.
All right. And my sister, what is your takeaway in the entire book that you can assist a queen from taking that fatal step in dating?
I want my sisters in dating to ask more questions, and to intentionally pay attention to whether or not he asks her questions. Make sure they gather the information. To take April's again, gather as much information as possible, because if you want to move forward, you need to know as much as you can. You can't know everything, every single thing, but you can know as much as possible to at least say, I thought I was well informed, but people surprise you. They do surprise you.
Yeah, sometimes they send their representative.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do, and their representative looks exactly like them.
Right.
So, yeah, but yeah, that's the main thing, and people can reach out to me and grab a book. I will have some in my trunk in the house.
Right.
Probably take some to the job, have them in my backpack. So that way people can get one. And I am on Facebook, Christina, without an H. It's Christina, no drama Lane, or I'm on Instagram, Christina O Drama.
All right. Okay. All right. So I like that. No drama.
Yes.
No drama.
Yes.
Okay.
And you have Elizabeth Thomas saying, good morning, Dee and guests. Thank you for your prayers. God is good. Good show.
All right. That was all right, ladies. Okay, I do want to also say good morning to prior guest that I had on here, Leslie King, When Angels Fight. And when you guys get a chance, I want you to maybe look at this and her story, which relates in what we're talking about, escaping sex trafficking and leading revolt against the darkness. She was a prostitute, and from an early age, and she was into drugs and everything, and she finally got out, and now she's clean and sober, and she has her own rescue house, and so she's still going on the streets and rescuing prostitutes. So this is an excellent tale, and so I just want to highlight her this month as well. And Miss April, don't you want to ask me something about this wonderful?
What's the name of that book?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's a Unlock Your Hidden Treasure. It's time to shine. Dr. Mary Siegels is the visionary on this one.
Wow.
Yes.
And you have a chapter in that book.
What
correct?
you say now? Oh.
What's the name?
Yay. All right.
What's the name of your chapter?
Nothing personal, but I'm a Eurostar. And a Eurostar, did you ask that?
No,
No, but I was about to.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Explain to me how you're a Eurostar. Let's get this on.
All right. Well, a Eurostar is the fastest train in the world. In my story, I have 2 friends that we have a relationship for about 48 years. And girls I went to school. And one of my girlfriends, she's a choo-choo train. That's the mode of transportation and the rate of speed that she go. Then my next one is an Amtrak. She gets derailed. Sometimes she's slow. Sometimes she just don't show up at all. But I'm the Eurostar. And that's the fastest train, and it goes through mountains. It goes underwater. And it keeps on going. Whatever the obstacle is, it keeps on going.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's me.
Okay.
So, thank you, ladies, for asking. And thank you, Miss April.
You're welcome.
So, I think that is my time. Ladies, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story. Again, my listeners, all my fans out here, have we met? Dating tales that women tell. So they gave you just a little bit. They didn't give you their whole story because we want you to buy the book.
That's right.
And get the advice. And it's this is very beautiful. And these beautiful queens on the back. So you have how to reach these ladies, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you for having us.
And that's my time, Miss April. Am I going to?
Go ahead and give your outro. Just
Okay.
In case.
Okay. If you want to continue our ministries here at Empower Sunday, Miss April, give them the Cash App.
The Cash App is $ Empower Sunday 1. Cash App Empower Sunday 1.
And if you want to continue to help and see Diva Dee Worldwide, my Cash App is $Diva D 512. That's DIVADEE 512. And it has been my pleasure to have my queens on here. And I hope that I know that you have so many little nuggets to help yourself. And so this is my time. Ecclesiastes, the first chapter, is a time and place for everything. And this is our time right now for us to shine. And that's what we're going to do. And I'll be right here next week, same place, same spot. And enjoy yourself. God bless you. I love you all.